Good afternoon, Year 10. Welcome to another lesson which is not related, is about transactional writing, which, as you know, is letter writing, report writing, article writing, all those things. Today, we're going to be looking at letter writing and specifically formal letter writing. By formal, we mean a letter that you might write to, your MP, or if you had to write to the head teacher or to me, you'd write a formal letter, whereas if you wrote to your cousin or your granddad, it would be an informal letter. So today's is a formal letter. So you do now, what are the expected features of a letter? And what is the difference between formal and informal writing in a letter? So today we're looking at letter writing. We're going to be looking at different aspects of things like formal and informal letter writing. And at the end of the lesson, you're going to write an informal letter. And here's an example of how a letter should be laid out. You've got your greeting at the top there, dear sir or madam, if the name is unknown. If you do know what the name is, it's Mr, Mrs, Miss or whatever. Reason for writing, you have an opening paragraph saying, I'm writing to you today because, organise your points to make up the body of the letter, put your most important point first, and then bring your letter to a close. Thank you for reading. Thank you for taking the time for reading this. I know you're very busy, etc. Something like that. And then yours faithfully, if it's sir or madam was used, or yours sincerely if you named someone. Okay, just have a look, have a read through of this letter and see what structural devices you can see. You can identify, and then we'll go on to the next slide and I'll point them out. So have a read of that, see if you can spot any, then on to the next slide and I'll tell you what they are. Dear Mrs. Andrew, formal address suitable for a letter. The opening paragraph, I'm writing because you chair a committee in charge of the compulsory wearing of school uniforms. I am a student at Wobble High School, a friendly and successful school where uniforms are not worn. As you're opening, you're explaining why it is that you're writing. I believe that there is good evidence that wearing school uniform is now outdated. That's a strong opening sentence. Then we've got in the towards the bottom of the second paragraph, extended justification to make the point stronger. And then in the third paragraph, this is the you're starting to sound like you agree with them. It's true that wearing uniform means students don't spend all morning choosing what to wear or beg parents for clothes. Then, however, there is another side to this uniform. Uniforms breed uniformity. We are a culturally diverse nation. So you start off by agreeing with them in that third paragraph and then move on to not agreeing them. So I won't read the rest of it out. There's use of rhetorical questions there. Discourse markers is just like your howevers and so on that show the way the direction the letter's going on, shows a logical progression. And then you can end, if you think it's effective, on a short sentence. It's powerful and effective. So you don't need to write anything down there. I just want you to read it, and you don't need to memorize it or anything, but you're going to come back to this slide when you get to write your letter at the end. Before we get on to the letter writing, I think it's worth reminding ourselves of the set 'em up, knock 'em down idea in argument, where so first of all, to do that, I don't know if you remember, but we'll go over it again. You introduce an argument on the opposite to yours. Make it clear who believes it, why this is believed, a turnaround phrase to signal that you're about to argue against the belief, your counter argument, support and any extra detail, and sum up and refer back to the question and point. Informal letters follow the same features of a formal letter, and in an exam you will still need to justify your points and use a combination of formal and informal language. You still need paragraphs, clear ideas which you develop to explain. So I want you to write an informal letter to a friend. So you can use things like abbreviations. So you're writing to a friend, telling them about her concerns. There's the layout. There's the reasons that the letter's being written. I'd like you to write that. Excuse me, Year 10. Write that letter and upload it onto class charts, please. Thank you, and I'll speak to you tomorrow for some more poetry.